morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Brooke. Good morning. Okay, now how many of you in here have pets? Dogs, cats, anything? Okay. Now, how many of you would be crushed if you found out your pet or any other pet around the world was being used for testing in order to make a best-selling product? As stated by Ingrid Newkirk, millions of animals suffer through stressful and unnecessary tests every year. The animals don't do this because obviously they don't want to, but they do it because we force them, we use them as our guinea pigs, for lack of a better word, to test out a new project just to make sure it's safe for us to use. For the past couple weeks I've been studying about animal testing and doing the research online, and this information is important for all of us to know because a lot of the products we use every day, like shampoo or makeup when you put makeup on, most of it most likely has been tested on animals unless it specifically says not tested on animals. This information, today I would like to persuade you that animal testing should be abolished by explaining how the animals are obtained and tested, why the animals are tested on, and the 3 R's in order to eliminate animal testing. First, I'm going to explain how animals are obtained and how they're treated. Estimates of the number of animals used each year for experiments in the United States laboratories range from 17 to 70 million. As stated in the article, animal experimentation is not ethical. Animals used for experimentation are obtained in numerous amounts of easy ways. First, they're picked up from laboratories like the Charles River Breeding Laboratory, which is the biggest in the United States. Animals are often picked up from animal shelters or the pounds if they're not wanted, and they go off into testing. And if you're looking to sell your newborn puppies, often people come by and will pick them up and buy them from you and use them for testing. Animals are also trapped and stolen to be used for testing. Animals that are commonly used are dogs, cats, guinea pigs, mice, rats, monkeys, and just regular pigs. Animals are treated in really bad and harsh ways. As stated, animal testing is cruel and does not benefit medical research. In addition to suffering through the experiment, they are under constant stress from fear, the loss of control over their lives, and denial such as enjoying the company of others of their own kind and from choosing. In one study at the University of Iowa, pregnant rabbits were given daily doses of cocaine, and baby rabbits were shocked in the head to study the effect of maternal drug use. Animals go through 4 standard tests in order to test one chemical. First, we'll begin with a product like nail polish remover. The first step is to drip the nail polish remover into a rabbit's eyes who was restrained. Step 2 is where massive quantities of it is thrust down the dog's throat or a monkey's throat. And then step 3 is where rats are forced to inhale the nail polish remover through a mask or by spraying it into a sealed cage. And step 4 is where it is smeared on the raw shaved back of a guinea pig. The Animal Welfare Act requires laboratories to report the number of animals used in experiments, but the act doesn't cover mice, rats, or birds, which are used in 80 to 90% of experiments. In today's world, vivisectors, or people who test on animals, try and use animals who are less cute, like rats and mice, because people won't object it as much as if it's like a dog or a rabbit. There are also a couple organizations that put money towards animal testing. A big one is the American Cancer Society and March of Dimes, which most people donate to. They use money from private citizens to fund animal experiments. And the world's largest funder of animal experiments is the National Institute of Health, which is actually located in the United States. Out of the $7 billion tax dollars it grants annually, $5 million of it goes to animal experimentation. Now that you know the problem, I'm going to explain why animals are tested on. There are many industries, like the cosmetic industry, for example, that uses millions of animals to test one small new product like nail polish remover. As stated in the article, household products and laboratory animal testing, for decades, detergents, cosmetics, and every other day product have been tested on animals. Most big companies like Revlon, Procter & Gamble, the Lever Brothers, and Colgate-Palmolive all use animals to create like another shampoo or another flavor of toothpaste. A lot of bigger companies have now started giving money to alternative testing, which is a good thing. And as stated by Alex Pacheco for PETA, which is People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, for every $30,000 in sales, only a quarter, 25 cents, is spent on alternatives, while annual sales of household products and cosmetics are still in like the billions of dollars. Millions of animals are used annually in toxicity tests, which is to test a chemical. A list of 80,000 chemicals was made up by the EPA that require basic safety information before they can go on sale. Some tests that are required are to test the neurological consequences of lead and mercury and similar poisons to reproduction and development. Registration, evaluation, and authorization of chemicals, also known as REACH, will evaluate safety of 30,000 chemicals in Europe, and the United States Medical Research Council has calculated that this program will require $11.5 billion and more than 13 million animals only to test 30,000 chemicals. As said in the article, protecting more than animals, all in all, current programs envisage using hundreds of millions of animals and tens of billions of dollars just to determine the safety of existing substances. A group of 2 scientists examined a program that actually Al Gore made for performing minimal safety tests on 2,800 chemicals. The program would collect data using the screening information data set, which is recommended for evaluating potential hazard of chemicals. These tests require 430 animals for each chemical, and the OECD, which is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, accepts certain protocols for the data battery set that will eventually require fewer animals. It could actually reduce the number of animals by 80%, so only 86 animals will be required for one test. Now that you know why animals are tested on, I'm going to talk about some alternative methods that can be used. In this day and age, there are numerous alternative tests that can be used to easily replace animal testing. The main method for alternative testing is the 3 R's: replacement, reduction, and refining. Replacement is where obviously the animals are replaced by methods that don't involve animals, like using a mannequin, a computer simulation, or vitro techniques, which is like in a lab in like a petri dish. Reduction is reducing the number of animals to the minimum amount necessary for the study. Before to study the lethal dose of half a population, scientists would use 6 or 7 groups of 20 animals, which is about 120 animals. Now the lethal dose for half a population can be obtained only using 45 animals. Refining is where you refine the techniques to eliminate and minimize the pain and distress that the animals go through. Scientists add luciferase to a cancer cell, which allows the cell to glow, and which allows the cell and its daughter cells to glow, so the scientists can easily measure the growth and monitor the growth before it actually becomes like a tumor for the animal. The Center for Alternatives to Animal Tests, also known as CAT, strongly promotes the 3 R's. This organization provides funds to help develop alternative testing methods. It also promotes the creation, development, validation, and application of the 3 R's of alternatives in biomedical research, product safety testing, and education. They operate 3 major programs, which is giving out research grants, workshops, and also employing people. The research grant serves to give money to scientists interested in developing alternative methods. As stated in the article, alternative testing can replace animal experimentation. To date, the center has funded some 300 grants for a total of about $6 million. They were founded in 1981 with a grant from the Cosmetic, Toiletry, and Fragrance Association. The key that will make alternatives work in the future is education. In the Netherlands, biomedical students have to go through a vigorous 3-week program that addresses the proper design of animal experiments, alternative methods, animal welfare issues, and ethical aspects of testing on animals. As stated in the article, alternative testing can replace animal experimentation. I look forward to the day when there's no such thing as alternatives, just humane science, the best science. In conclusion, animal testing harms millions of animals each year, causing them to suffer and be in pain before they die, all because the cosmetic and household product companies want to make more money with the new and improved shampoo or their new and improved nail polish remover. I'm going to leave you guys with a quote. As stated by Dr. Charles Mayo, founder of the Mayo Clinic, I abhor vivisection. It should at least be curbed. Better, it should be abolished. I know of no achievement through vivisection, no scientific discovery that could not have been obtained without such barbarism and cruelty. The whole thing is evil.
So what we have are we have 3 5s for those items.